Hey, what's up guys? Professor Tom, hope you love this video. Don't forget to hit subscribe and enjoy.
So what we basically have today is we're focusing on the situation where I'm inside control and he's giving me a very good mount defense, which comes from the legs out. So some people would do this, some people would do this, but I've got a strong mount defense. So what we're going to try to do is both for white belts and colored belts, give you two really good options of how to not only approach submissions from here, but also dominant positions. So the first one we're going to look at from here is when he's got his knee untied like this. I'm going to switch my hips to face this way. Okay, so from this position, now that I'm facing this way, it's quite hard for him to get that knee under my hips. So if I was belly down, that knee could come through to guard quite easily. So when I feel the knee on my ribs, because I can't get to mount, I'll switch my hips this way. Okay, so we have a modified side control position. From this position, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to step my lower leg all the way over into a modified S mount. So let's have a look at doing that. My right leg comes over here and I take my armbar right away. So this is a really good position. So we'll just do that a couple more times. I'm here, right leg comes over, left leg comes over. And I'm here with my feet. Most of the time they'll both be on this side of his arm, as opposed to a normal armbar when I've got his other arm in between. So just one more time. I'm here, my right leg will come over, my left leg comes over. Very sneaky, very easy. Occasionally though, when I do that, he will bring his right elbow down to the ground so I can't get it. So I go here and he brings his elbow down and then I'll come down into a full mount position and usually start attacking some sort of Ezekiel choke on the neck. So again, one more time, when he pulls the elbow out, so I go here and he pulls the elbow out, I'll come down into a mount, and because his hands are caught up, I'll usually go for my Ezekiel choke right away because his neck is defenseless. However, 2 times out of 3, I'll catch that arm because it's quite unpredictable, this attack. So I come here and I just grab that thing, and I'm not only pulling it down, but 2 hands are pulling it this way. Okay, pull, and I pull it in and I get my finish. Okay, although I don't cross my legs, guys, sometimes on this one, my bottom side leg will step on top of my other one just so they're really, really secure, but my knees are still squeezed. Not crossed, so my knees go out, but in like this. Okay, best of both worlds. One last time on the armbar. Pull. Okay, so I also have another option that I can do from here. So I'll just move Matt a little bit this way. So what I can also do is when Matt either does this or this, which is very common, I can actually use this as an awesome opportunity to get into a leg attack position and of course submission. All right. Now I would be remiss if I didn't go over this submission. I don't really believe in it, but this one here, that can be a tricky submission to get with my elbow used as a fulcrum, like a toe hold. I personally don't think it works at a high level, but just be careful of it. I never hold my leg like that for that reason. I hold it like this. But whether they're doing this or this, both of those shapes are vulnerable to this next submission. So what is this next submission? From this position, I try to walk into him and then he's blocking and I step over his far leg, okay? So I'm in quite commonly referred to as like a reverse half guard, where I put myself under and over his leg, okay? From this position, okay, I do have access, all right, to his leg. So if I was in no-gi, I could fall back, attack the heel, and come across for my finish. However, in the gi, we tend to use this to attack leg bars. So once I'm here like this, and I've got his leg isolated, I can now look at attacking my leg bar position, okay? So from this position here, I can turn and hold the leg, okay, like this. And the beauty of this one is, because my leg's in there, it's really hard for him to triangle it off. Okay, so now my other knee comes through, slides down, and hip in for my finish. Okay, I really like this one because if he bends the leg and goes to get on top, for instance, I've got his hips controlled, so I've got a killer toe hold right here, ready to go. Okay, let's have a look at that one again. So he's got his knee up. All right, I hold it up, I step over the top. Of course, if we're in no-gi, we can go straight away for some heel hooks and fall into inside ashi or an outside 50-50 position. However, for today, you can come underneath this way or underneath this way. I slide my knee across, okay, and I've got him here. So I've got his hips controlled, I've got my leg bar straight away, but if he bends and comes up onto the top, I've got a killer toe hold right here. So I'm stopping him from rotating out, okay? So if he tries to rotate out of this, I've got it stopped, and now toes to the butt, and my elbow brings his heel towards me, okay? Both attacks work very well, as does the armbar that we started this series off with. Enjoy, let's practice, let's go. Okay, so I'm in mount. What do beginners love to do? They also love to do this in MMA as well. They give you a little bit of a buck, right? They're probably not even controlling your hands, and then he hugs me around my body. Okay, so you've probably all found that, and it might be a beginner on his first night of jiu-jitsu that you could have easily beaten. He's hugging you and you're like, why aren't you behaving like everybody else, you know? Like, so this can be quite effective, right, when they do this. And there are ways that I could like put my hand on his face and push it away and put the elbow, but quite often in jiu-jitsu, we're not the guys and gals that really want to do that kind of thing, and it's kind of not conducive to good gym culture. So when people grab me like this, again, rather than looking at the problem, we look for the opportunity. We look for the glass being half full. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step up, okay? So for me, I like to often step up on my right leg because it's now my right hand side doing all the coordination stuff, and it's on his left arm, which technically should be his weak arm 9 times out of 10. So you see what I've done? I've gripped onto my own shin here. I've got his arm nice and taut, so if he tries to get it out now, yeah, tough luck, it ain't coming. All right, so what I now do is I can put my left, okay, forearm into his neck, and I can start putting weight through it. You can use 2 hands if you like, I normally just use 1, and I just start to break it a little bit. So you'll see how I just put a little bit of weight through and get a little bit of a twist, just to break his grip, okay? From this position, you can get an easy Kimura right away, right here. Okay? If we want to take it further than that, okay, I can actually kick my legs out to the front and hover over him, hover, 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 hover. And now I land in my Omaplata position, okay? Or I can go from here and instead of hovering my hips over, I bring the foot over, rotate around till it hooks under the chin, okay? And now I'm gonna hold on to my own knee as I bring it up to face the ceiling, okay? So this is what people call a monoplata, okay? So let's have a look at those 3 options again and notice how they're all brought about by the pesky guy grabbing at us, okay? So here, I step up with my right leg and I hug, okay? I push his neck away. Now I can reach back, give myself space, and come around with my body weight. Notice how it's my legs and body generating the motion, not my arms. Arms are still weak, even if it's 2 on 1. I can also extend my legs forward and hover over, hover, 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 hover. And now I have him here, ready to go, okay? I can also take my leg, bring it in front as my butt comes down, hooking under Matt's chin, and now I can grab my knee, bring it up to the ceiling for the tap. All right, guys, so there's your 3 options, all brought about from the same body grab position, okay? Let's go. So sometimes when a guy's hugging you from the bottom, they can roll you over. And when they roll you over, it gives us an amazing opportunity to go for a really good attack. So let's just do it from the mount, then we'll do it from the guard. So I'm mounted on top of Matt, and he's hugging around my body, and I'm like, oh my God, what's this guy doing? And before I've had much of an opportunity to do too much, Maybe I step up on my right leg. He actually bridges and rolls me now, and I'm like, oh no. Okay, so because his arm is wrapped around me, it leaves me with only one limb, or it's not even really a limb, that I can start to deal with, which is his head. So I can start to push away his head as I break his grip. Okay, once I've broken his grip with my hip, I can now bring that foot up and around. Now from this position, this gives us our omoplata. Okay, however, we also have two cool attacks from here that we can add on based on that same attack we just did from the mount. So just like the monoplata, if he faces me, I can tuck my foot under his head. I reach around holding onto my own toes. Now I have two from here. One is called the go-go plata, which is where I use the palm of my hand on the heel and I just get that choke. But sometimes Matt is a smart guy and he'll use his right hand to block this. So then I use my own heel, which is called a Locoplata. Okay, so basically for Matt, it's lose-lose. So anytime I've got his arms wrapped around my body, okay, like this, I can push his head to the side, get my hip up until it breaks. Now I can bring that right leg in front. Now, if he faces me, underneath we go, around the head, grabbing onto our own toes. I've got the go-go plata, and if he grabs my hand, the Locoplata. However, maybe we don't feel flexible enough for that. Maybe we prefer joint attacks. So I also have, very similar to the monoplata we just did from the mount, so when I'm here like this, sometimes I might feel that his posture could regain, okay, like this. So to ensure against that, we can triangle off, which brings more weight, but now watch where this foot goes. I tuck it underneath his far armpit. What this now gives me is an ability to leg press, hop up on my hands, and now be very careful here. I leg press as I scoot my butt backward here. Okay? And we get the inverted. Oh, sorry. Jeez, Gary, be careful uploading this one online.
I lost the file. I'm sorry.
So, as I'm here, and maybe I'm going for an omoplata, maybe it's a big guy, maybe a real flexible guy, doesn't matter. I can lock my foot over here, and then I tuck it under the armpit. One of the advantages of going under the armpit is if you leave it here, he can do a toe hold, right? And he puts his head under the bottom of my foot, and that's a nasty foot lock / toe hold. So by tucking my foot under his armpit, I kind of put it where if he tries to grab it, good luck, okay? So now I come up on my hands, and I leg press as I scoot my butt back. Okay? Be careful, comes on real tight. Alright? But it's very similar to that omoplata one, the monoplata one, where it's a bit of shoulder, a bit of elbow, but it's a whole lot of good. Okay? I really like this one. I actually prefer this to the omoplata these days because it takes away any ability for him to roll, etc., spin out. It's very, very effective. So you just triangle your legs off, tuck it under the armpit. For the record, as your partners get better with omoplata defense, they realize it's all about posture. And the greatest weapon Matt has for posture is to step his right foot up. So what you can often do is actually tuck it under his foot. And now I've got an even greater lever to use, okay? But if he doesn't use his right foot, he has to use his right hand on the mat, and so that's why the armpit is usually easy. If he didn't have his hand to use, like if he was holding his hands together, then he has to use his right foot, and then we can go under here. But it's the exact same attack. I've got a locked off triangle, feet on the ground, and leg press as I come back, okay? This is tremendously effective. Give it a try.
Hey guys, hope you love the video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget you can check out thegrapplingacademy.com for more courses. Have fun on the mats, happy rolling.